Here is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of January 13th through the 17th. I will go over price targets on the 5-minute time frame, have a gap recap from January 6th through the 10th, and update the chart as well. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is Boeing. We ended the week at $172, up 0.41%. To the north side from where we are takes us to one level of resistance and a potential take profit area, and that is roughly 174.23. Above that, 175.54-ish, and don't hold your breath for Monday to get to this level, 176.75. And if it does, and we wick up to that level, you can bet there will be a sell-off as people take their profits and they run, they will lock in and they will leave. To the south side, takes us back to the middle of the trend, the baseline. We've been in this zone for so long now, it seems, but let me correct this color there. And that's going to be roughly 171.65. Below that, 169.19. Another level of support and a potential buy-in area, also potential stop loss area, depends on what side of the line you bought, 167.92, and I don't think we'll get this low, 166.64, but if we do, you can bet this will be support and there will be a buy-in and a bounce to the upside. And you can see that happened right here and a bounce to the upside off of this support line. Taking a look left, we have this gap. Let me make sure this lined up right there. So out of the gate on Monday, we gapped up. So I anticipate that gap to fill to the downside. And we did that on Wednesday, January the 8th. And this gap here is still in play to the upside. We almost tickled it, but well, for this week. And then as I look back towards this week, you can see that we touched a couple of times on the way up, but never closed it out. And that will take us to 180.79. Ignore the yellow lines. Those are previous middle of the trend lines. And as you can see, last week we were here, and now we're here. But this channel is still going down slightly. It's almost appearing to be leveling off and just going sideways. Hopefully we just go sideways and then make our way up towards the end of the week. But we're sort of in the middle zone here. But if we bounce off this line, we could hit here, but that is going down for the week too, since we're still in a downward channel. All right, the next one, let's double click this so I can see the RSI. It is falling and then just turning up right there. So I think there might be a bounce off that support line. All right, the next one. Oh, by the way, what is the 1-year price target? 187.84. 187.84. I'll go through and mark this out later. But 187.84. There. All right, the next one I want to go over is Nike. Option R to reset this. Again, all I'm doing is looking from this period to this period for the week. Right now, we are $71.20, down 0.13%. The middle of the line, the trend, rather, takes us to roughly 71.40. Above that, 72.22, 72.65, and then back to an area that we have been before, 73.10 to the south side. Support, potential buy-in area, 70.53, another potential buy-in area and a potential stop loss area, 70.08-ish and 69.65. We're still going down. The channel is still going down, but by the end of the week, if we continue to grind down, -2 standard deviations could take us to 68.79, and then the upper band 70.51. And then if we're lucky, we get to this band and get to 71.41-ish. But right here, and this is already overextended, so I'm going to anticipate a little bit of a bounce eventually to go work our way back up, and then that means that will also work its way up. Looking left, we have this gap that already closed out, almost, but this one gapped down, so I anticipate it to fill to the upside, and we did on Friday the 10th. And then what happened here? Look at this gap. This gap touched to the downside, and this gap, oh wow, look at this, has been in play for weeks and weeks and weeks. Look at this. Let me just take this back to the daily so we can see this in the bigger picture. Look at this. All the weeks I've tracked this, week to week. But this gap is right here, 72.67, and that gap opened up on, it looks like the 7th of August, this past summer, to the downside at 72.67, and it touched on Monday the 6th. So this is no longer a threat to our account. Delete, delete. And then the upper channel was, oh wait, it touched right here. Wait, did it touch? No, it didn't. See that? It looked like it was a fake out. Didn't touch. It needed to work its way out, and it did here. But that started at 73.08 and made its way down to this area, 72.69, 70-ish. So I will delete this. And then what happened here? I forgot to delete this because that touched 74.67. I think I've, oops, Command Z just to reset or redo, undo what you did if you did something on accident. All right, I think I need to clean up a couple other things, but I will do that later. Let's go back. Oh, let's on the daily. Yep, we're going sideways, and we are, while I'm here, wait, I'm sorry, I thought this was the line. Nope, down here. Fell down even more. And is it still going to go and then correct and then make our way back up? Hopefully. The 1-year price target is 85.31. Now let's go to the 5-minute. Option R. So this gap closed. This one closed right here. Yeah, done. All right. And the gap that we're tracking to the upside takes us to 79.03 right here, the beginning of that. But right now, still in a downward channel. It has not shown that it is reversing just yet, but hopefully, fingers crossed, on the daily, we're overextended. Flip it over to the monthly and also check that. All right, Estee Lauder ended the week at 73.45, down 0.29%. Resistance, 74.03, 74.78, 75.55. And look, we're back. So the previous middle of the trend was where, or did I delete it? Yeah, it looks like I deleted it. But it lines up with a previous middle of the week right here. Back on January 6th, where we were here. So I'm going to delete this and no, I'll just leave the line. No, I'm going to delete it because if I don't go back to that level, I know at least it started here again. So let's delete that. I don't need too many lines. This is just for fun here. So I can just eyeball it right there. Oh, wait, that was, oh, wait, let me just see something. Hit undo. Okay, so last week we were here, and we're back in the same spot as we were the previous week. So in this past week, we were here, went up all the way to here, and that's a return of, let me get off this magnet, roughly here to here was a 5.52% return. Beats the bank all day long, every day. And I'm not talking, CDs or something like that. Just a regular account. What a rip off. The banks are ripping you off if you're leaving your money in a regular account. All right. So the middle of the trend is here. 70.98, 70.18, and 69.47. Obviously an opportunity to get up, get in, get up, get out. So looking left, what is this? Oh, that's the gap. Okay. Now this gap to the downside closed right here on the 8th. That took us down to roughly 72.48. Then this gap, so we gapped up, so I anticipate it to fill down. I never changed that color. That should have been red. It's like, that looks funky. So we went from here to here. So then we closed to the downside, and it touched right there on the 8th. And that took us all the way down to 73.73. What is that? Oh, and then this gap formed right here. This one closed, we gapped down, and then filled it the same day. All right, then this gap opened up on Friday and closed on Friday to the upside. So congrats there, 73.59, and then we hit resistance, and then the market closed, and then we sold off like clockwork. And the gap to the upside will take us to roughly 87.0405-ish. And this channel is still going down. So this week, we're at this place too, so let me delete that. I don't want two lines. Right there. And then previously we were here, so we went from here to here, and then we're just going sideways. So maybe we are leveling off. Maybe, baby. All right, that is it for Estee Lauder. Note the sell-off at resistance, buy in at support, buy in at support, buy in at support here. The next one is TSLY. Oh, TSLY. She's just as psycho as Tesla. All right, what happened here? 1374 is where we ended, 0.43. To the north side, 1386, 1401, 1413. The middle of the trend takes us to here, 1359. 1332, back to a level we've been in this range, 1318-ish, and then 1304. We've got, looking left here, this gap is still in play, taking us down to 1305. This gap opened up and closed at the beginning of the week. So we gapped up, and then we touched it right there. So that's done. Gapped up, filled down to the downside. Support, a bounce, support, a bounce, support, support. This is resistance from here, and then you can see the sell-off. Resistance, sell-off. So the previous week we were here, so we are inching our way up. The middle of the trend has notched up a tad, but overall still going down. But hopefully this will be the line of support even though this was the middle of the trend, it's turning into support. And this is support from where we are as well. Hopefully we'll just grind here and then make our way back up. This market has been ugly. All right, 55.13 is where we ended for Unilever. The middle of the trend takes us to this line. Oops, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so one level is 56.09. Why do I have this marked here? I don't know. Let me just delete that. Okay. 56.37 and roughly 56.68 to the south side. 54.89, 54.60, 54.32. Now what's happened here? This gapped down. We filled to the upside, and did we touch? No, this is still in play for the upcoming week. That will take us to roughly 56.52. This gap touched and it filled right here, but I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. And then we had this gap and then we filled. So that's done. This one took us down to 55.51 and then a bounce there. We gapped down, so we fill to the upside on this one. So this is a gap within this gap. And that will take us to 56.10. All right. What did I say? That was 54.31-ish. So if we hit this level, I will anticipate a bounce. And if it continues to walk its way down, the next bounce, and then another bounce there. Oops. All right, so this is the middle of the trend, and then the previous week was here. So we are stair-stepping our way down. Hopefully we can start going sideways here. But we never made it. We never stayed up here. We just worked our way down. And then this is an old price target at 55.42, acting as, look at that, support. That 55.42, let me see something on the daily. So back in July of 2023, when I marked this out, I said that was the target. Let me make this option R. Where are we here? Oops. So we are at, 55.13. 55.13 right here, wow. So to the north side, that will take us to roughly 57.12. And then to the south side, back to this line is where I picked up shares at 53.79. But look at this. Hopefully we'll go back up. But right now the RSI is doing what? Turning down still. Let me move this line out of the way. Yep, still going down. Still bleeding out. Watch out. Stay on page. All right, option R. There we go. And we've got this gap to the north side, still in play, but moving farther away from that. All right, the next one is RIVN. Oh, we've got a little gap here. Let's just mark it out while I'm here. Oh, let me turn on my... There we go. So this is still in play to the upside. Roughly to 14.92. But we ended the week at 13.85, down 2.53%. to the north side, 1402. 1428 and 1451 is the range. That's the higher range. 1353, 1303, 1280, and 1255. So these are all the middle of the trend lines, and we are here now. So let me mark this out. And the previous week, did I delete it? Yeah, I think I did a thumbnail for it, and so I removed that line. All right, and then I'm just going to get rid of this one since we're close to that. But 1342 was a line I drew out. Oh my goodness, look at this. Back on September 9th. And it appears we're just retracing our steps. I'll just delete that for now. Clean it up a little bit. All right, so if we're here and we get to this line, this will turn into support and then hopefully a bounce off that. So we can correct ourselves and go sideways. All right, the next one is 1415. 1425, 1440, 1455, 1395, 1364, 1349, and 1335. Note the bounce here off of support. So what happened from here to here at the end of the week? Well, we've got this gap that's still in play. This gap opened up on the 2nd and closed out of the gate on Monday. So let me clean this up right there. So that took us to 1538. And then after that, we went sideways and then we melted down. And I do believe that's an appropriate word to use, melted down, not melted up. Ice doesn't melt up. I hear it all the time. It drives me batty. All right, so we had this gap. We gapped up, so I anticipate it to close to the downside, and that did happen on the 7th. And so we gap down, and then this will fill eventually to the north side, and that will take us to roughly 1453. And that will take us down to 1299. RSI is looking like it's turning up, yeah. And what is the 1-year price target now? The next target was 20 bucks. All right, after that, let's go to NEO, option R. Let's give you some price targets first for this week. 1419, 1424, and then back to where we've been, 429 to the south side, 410. 401, 396, and 391. Looking left, as far as the gaps go, this one touched right here on the 10th. That was in play. Oh boy, look at this, all the way 417. 417, good Lord. That started on September 4th. We went all the way up, grinding sideways, getting whiplash, tossing us around, and then we finally made our way back down to this level. But let's show it to you on the daily. Option R. What did I say? Oops. 413. So September 4th. So this gap right here. Wow, that's crazy. Look at the massive gains here. Okay, the left side, and then we're cratering down, and hopefully go sideways and then go back up, and then maybe that will be kind of like the U-shape recovery, the pattern there. You can't stay down forever, because if it does, it'll just get bought out by somebody else. I don't think it'll go away. So we've got this gap now, 395 and 370. Yikes. Okay, just something to be aware of. On the 5-minute now, option R, let me redo this. So that's done. The next one is, oh, I extended it. See how I extended out on a different time frame on the daily, and look how far it went. Let's just do that so we keep it within this upcoming week so I can see what's happening. Option R. All right. So this could, well, definitely touch this at roughly 412, making our way down to 395. And on the positive side, we have this gap to look forward to whenever we reverse course, and this one. All right, and this one. Many targets to the upside, but we are moving farther away from those targets for right now. So we are here at the end of the week, the middle of the trend. Where is it? Oh, here. So we're here. If we continue to go down, and I don't think so, we're going to go sideways, not just go down completely, but if we do, the middle of the trend at the end of the week could be 323. The outer bands could be 304 and 342, but I don't think so. I don't think so. If we touch this, it's going to bounce off of that, and I think that might be the low period. I don't think there was anything else that I've been tracking. So that will be nice organic move. A nice organic move, I should say. All right, the middle of the trend is here. The previous week, where were we? Right here. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my account bled out. It's still bleeding out. So we went from here to here. That is, well, let me turn off my magnet. From here to here, down 11%. That's a bargain. But we still have more room to go to the downside with those gaps. So what happened here? So we gapped up and it touched, so we closed out to the downside right here at 463-ish, and that closed beginning on Tuesday, beginning of that day, Tuesday. All right, so this is still in play. All right, still in a downward channel, but if we go sideways, hopefully we could bounce off this line. Am I done? Is that it? No, I got one more. Good Lord. I have 9 tickers. It takes me a while. I used to have 10. I used to play between 10 and 15. That's crazy. I'm going to whittle this down. 1957, 1979, 20 bucks. We're at the middle of the trend, so let me mark this out right there. Hopefully we'll just go sideways and bounce off of that. But to the south side, 1872, 1851, 1830. Looking left. Note the bounce here at support. up to resistance, going sideways and then falling down as well. And this gap closed, opened and closed on Monday. Yeah, I think it, well, it touched here, but I don't think it really closed out. Although I do have a thick band, though. This is a thick line. But that's okay. Rough estimates. So we are here, the previous week here. So we're going down. You can see that. The gap to the upside that I will be tracking is here. I think I sold out at 21.42 a long time ago for a trade. So that's 22 bucks roughly. Like I have to go way back. Yeah, I'll clean that up later. And then looking back, look at that bounce off of support here, making our way up, down, and then back up again, and then back down. But I don't really see anything to the downside, but that's okay. The deviations will wipe them out. And the lowest, the RSI on the monthly has been at 26.19. Is that it? Yay, that is it. Okay, check this out. Boeing was the only ticker that barely made it into the green, everything else in the red. So as Trader Murat says, this is just the market cycles here and a possible opportunity to get in on tickers that you've been sitting on the sideline, deploy your capital. This might be a good time because my account has tanked, but I'm still up. And when I say tanked, it's not wiping me out. It's just I've bled out, but I'm still way, way up. It's just not fun to see. So if you do have capital, this might be a good time to look at, as he mentioned, dollar cost averaging or getting an ETF and researching some ETFs if you don't want to pick individual stocks. All right, that does it for me. That is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of January 13th through the 17th. Have a great trading week.